Okay, at this time, I'll open up the Carroll County Commissioners meeting of July 10th. And we have an agenda. And the first item on the agenda is public input. Yes, Henry.
I just wanted to let you know that on Farm Day, if you need somebody running grills or anything like that, I'm happy to.
I'm sorry, say it again?
When a Farm Day comes,
Yep.
I'm happy to help out with the cooking or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Right. Is there
Okay.
anybody particular I should speak to?
27.
Yeah,
Okay.
Could I have your name just for the record?
Henry Spencer.
Henry
Thank you.
Spencer. Public input?
I was just going to say that,
Okay.
to Spencer, that Susan Leclerc might be a good person
Susan.
to get a hold of. I think they're doing the hot dogs and hamburgers for the nursing home fundraiser. Sorry.
Okay.
Any reports? Then we'll move on. Any reports from the commissioners? Go ahead.
Can we have some reverse public input this morning?
Reverse public input.
I have the information that Mr. Brown was looking for on the insurance for the nursing home.
Yep.
Handout there?
Here's your copy, Steve. I want you to note on there that the increase was, well, let me read, why don't I read the for the record so that they can, people can see it. Property and liability with Primex, who is our insurance carrier. The property and liability 209 was, if you don't mind, I'll round it off, was 101,600. 2010, it was 100,100. 2011, it was 125,200. 2012, it was 252.
152.
Excuse me. Thank you, Dave. 152, 500. And the following year, this year, it's 164, 200. In that, which this piece of paper doesn't show, is the coverage for the new nursing home, and we're still covering the old nursing home, and we have at least two more vehicles that are covered under this policy. And I hope that's what you were looking for, Mr. Brown.
You know why the dramatic increases in the last 3 years?
Because of the new nursing home.
Because of the new nursing home.
I thought you said this didn't include the new nursing home.
It doesn't.
Oh, I said it includes the new nursing home and the old nursing home.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought you said it didn't.
I'm sorry if I didn't make myself clear. I've also asked Kathy if she'd find out when she gets time how much of this increase is the new nursing home. So that should clear that up.
All right, thank you.
Okay, another item that we can report on is the auditing. And you did research that, right?
Yes, I did.
You want to comment on that?
I only went back, I don't want to duplicate my efforts. Commissioner Kenney was the one that was interested in this. Do you have anything on it, Commissioner Kenney,
On the auditing?
on the auditing?
I talked to Mason and Rich, and they say they didn't do the auditing in 2010.
Well, did you look at any of the old
I was,
annual reports or anything? Because if you didn't, then I'll report on it.
report, and I can make my comments.
Pardon me? You want me to?
I said you can report, and I will
Okay.
make my comments.
2012, the annual, well, first of all, we have all the annual,
All the auditing reports.
right here. For some reason, and I wasn't here, so I don't know, but I won't use that for an excuse. They don't get into the annual report. 2012, there was no material on an audit except for the DRA budget. 2011, a financial report only, appropriations and expenses. Financial report 2010, same situation, DRA budget. 2009, bank audits, letter from Godfrey Howard, and financial information, and again, the DRA budget, which really doesn't tell anybody that's interested in what the budget here is, what it is. In 2008, bank accounts, financial information, and the DRA budget again. Going back earlier than that, there was a financial statement in some of the earlier ones in the 2000s, but we do have copies here of every year of the audit.
And who's again is the audit company?
Jason and Rich.
Jason
Mason,
and Rich?
Mason and Rich.
Mason from 2010.
I've got them right here, extra copies
You
from
have-
2005 up to 2009.
I think the question was 2010, 11, and 12.
Here's 2010.
Can I see that
Here's
from 2010?
2011. Now, in 2002, it was included in the annual report, and it's Independent Auditor's Report. Mason and Rich, Professional Association Certified Public Accountants.
If you look
And
at
it's in accordance with government auditing standards, and so on.
If you look at it 2010, it said nowhere a letterhead, nowhere that Mason and Rich did it. It seems like just financial prepared statements. I called Mason and Rich and I asked them to send it in writing that they didn't do the auditing because I just talked to them and they say they never did it in 2010. And I
Can't believe
didn't,
that.
I didn't get their letter yet, but they say they're gonna send me a letter.
Okay?
But you said that is what they did in 2010.
Okay.
And they say they didn't do that. Because they used to do municipalities, but they stopped doing that. So they never audited in 2010. They went back and looked it up and said, no, they didn't. But you said they did this, but there's nowhere the letterhead and it said Mason and Rich do it. It is just financial statements.
This is what was given to me this morning.
The question was about 2010, 11, and 12.
Okay? Do you have any meetings that you've attended you want to report on?
I didn't
Anybody?
attend any meetings
Okay.
last week. I was actually gone for
Commissioner
the
Babson?
holiday weekend.
Commissioner Babson? Do you have any?
We had well, I guess Will can report on, we had a farm day meeting. It's progressing well. It looks like it's gonna be a fun day, especially for kids, parents bring their kids. Will can give you the specifics. We got a lot of different programs, and it'll hopefully be bigger and better than last year.
Okay. Minutes?
I don't know if you have any corrections, but I'd like to table it for next week. I just read it early this morning. I went through it.
What about last week's, previous week's minutes that were tabled last week?
I think that Commissioner Babson tabled the one from last week. It looks accurate to me, it looks okay. And I don't know if both commissioners had a chance to go over it again or watch the video.
Mhm.
I don't know what you wanted to have corrected, but the minutes look okay, but they are tabled
You want to submit your corrections?
from last week.
Not last week, the week before.
Week before.
Which week
I
before?
tabled them because the typographical errors need to be corrected in the minutes,
Mhm.
and some grammatical changes. Other than that, it was fine. And if that's not a problem for anybody, apparently it is for some of the participants here, and I'll make a motion, we approve them the way they are.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further comments regarding the motion? If not, all those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and so voted.
So do you have the date? That was 2 weeks ago, you said?
What's the date on this?
That's the 3rd, so it was
July 3rd?
19th. It was, I believe, June 19th.
June 19th.
2 weeks ago to 26.
26, excuse me, 26. I got 'em here.
Okay. Do you have any other minutes?
No, that's it.
Were you supposed to bring some up to date
Yeah.
for this week?
I was going to bring some, but I don't have nothing with me because I was gone, and I will bring it next week, so.
Okay. And you
Mr.
want-
Chairman,
Go
at
ahead.
some point, we have to begin getting minutes in here, and I was under the impression last week that Commissioner Kenney was gonna bring in some this week. She said she couldn't do them all, and I understand that, but we have to begin getting minutes. I mean, that's the historical record, and they gotta be done.
We'll come next week.
Okay. So July 3rd, you want a table?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know if you have the chance to read through them and get any corrections. I wanted to read through them again. I did it quick this morning. Did you read through it? You think everything is accurate?
I think there's a lot of information in the July 3rd minutes that probably do not have to be in there.
It should be
Everyone
shorter.
knows that the motions need to be in there and the
Yes.
vote taken. But when it gets into who said this and who said
Yeah,
that,
that
I don't
shouldn't
think
be in
that needs to be in
But
there.
is that in it?
Well, on the first paragraph,
It's all through it.
Oh, a couple,
Yes,
yeah, that should be
sure.
out.
and definitely down in the 4th paragraph, it wasn't that she was gonna go back and get her LPN. She had already had done that, and it was just recently that she received her RN.
Yes, I believe she started as a LNA, and I think then she was a LPN, and then,
Right.
I guess, no?
But the minutes say she will
Going
be
back to
going
the-
back and getting her LPN.
Yeah, on the tape, that's exactly how it was worded, and I knew that that was incorrect. And she
Okay, you did it
started
by
as
the
an
tape.
LPN, but that's exactly what
Okay,
the
all right.
record said. You know,
I
I think
thi-
Howie had said
I
something.
think Howie said something like that.
Okay, then we'll correct it.
Okay.
She'd already received her
Right.
LPN.
Now, if I see something like that, can I correct it myself, or just put what's on the minutes?
You do the minutes the way you see them, and
And
we
you
will
correct.
correct them.
You can use
When we get
something-
them.
Yeah, you can use your own wording also.
Okay,
for
I just wanted to
certain
mention
things.
that, yeah.
Certain things you can use literally our
Yeah.
words. What I just want to say, the last page, we asked for 3 lines, and you did it, but it is for the non-public minutes. I see that you put it.
Non-public only?
Yeah, only non-public.
Not public.
Yeah, not public.
All right, I put it on both.
Okay, that's fine, but we need it for the non-public.
Okay.
I'd like to see the minutes, both front and back,
I know, I forgot about
done,
that.
okay? And anytime you have a signature block on them, it should not be a separate page, because that separate page can be torn off.
What
and
if
lost.
that's the last
So it needs to be
page?
put on the last page.
Put it on the last page and push the margin on
The
it.
signature page.
Change
don't
it or
only
put it
for
down
the
somewhere
non-public.
so
Okay.
Stretch it out somewhere.
The signature block should be on that
Yeah,
written
but we
page.
don't do it anyway for the public minutes. We do the signature block only for the non-public.
For the non-public.
Non-public only, yes.
Okay, let's move on then.
So we are tabling these?
The clerk wants to table this week's minutes, and I
Yeah, the-
think we need to discuss the minutes in non-public later on. So, Will, you're on the agenda first.
Good morning.
Good morning. Did you bring the letter up from the state's attorney?
No.
Just a couple quick things to update the commissioners what's been going on. Obviously, for those paying attention to the weather, it's not been a good year for haying, but we're trying to get a little bit done as we can when we get good breaks here and there. We've gotten a little bit done, and we've been sending out some of those deliveries to some of the customers. The garden, though, seems to be doing very well with the all the rain and the hot weather. Things are coming along good. What we did is something different this year. For those that have been out and about on the complex, you recall last year we had the pigs. I had the summertime pigs out in the area. This year we've made that into a garden, and the stuff that's growing out there, it's a winter squash I put in, is doing excellent. We haven't had to put any kind of fertilizer or anything to it, and it's just been taken off terrifically. Also, this week we planted with the Cooperative Extension some Brussels sprouts in the same area. She's doing Olivia from the Cooperative Extension is doing a study or trial with the Brussels sprouts, and so we planted those out there this week also. Hopefully those will take off good too, but the winter squash that's out there has been doing really good.
Is that on black plastic?
Yes, yep, put it on black plastic and put the seeds in and basically have walked away. I mean, we hooked up the irrigation, but we haven't had to use any irrigation.
Yeah.
And things have done really well. Our other garden is doing really good. We had a small problem that was getting out of hand with the cucumber beetles eating our squash, but we were able to eliminate those, and things seem to be coming back good. We gave that a little extra liquid fertilizer like we do every year, and it's really done good. Olivia's she's got tomatoes. She's got 4 different trials of tomatoes going out there. She's been doing very good as far as showing up at least once, sometimes twice a week. And she's out there cutting suckers off and stringing them and working really well out there doing that. She's done an excellent job, I think. Still bagging wood when the weather permits. That has slowed down. We've got to hopefully pick that back up again. The last week to 2 weeks we've slowed down because of the weather. We had to move our bagging operation out of the hay barn because we started haying, and to try to bring hay and have wood in the same barn was not working out, so we had to move it outside. And due to all the rain, it's kind of slowed it down, but we're hoping that that's going to pick back up. We've had enough wood in reserve to keep the camps, as they call it, keep them delivered, so that hasn't been a problem. New processor update, hopefully by the end of the week. I heard from the dealer last night, hopefully by the end of the week we should have our new processor, so that'll be good when that comes in. We still have enough wood to get by for right now, so I think if we can get it by the end of the week, that would be or first of next week, that would be a good thing.
What's the feeling on the old processor? Are we going to put that out to sell for bid, or are we going to keep it, or what's your recommendation, I guess?
I think what I'd like to do for right now is the rest of this summer and then maybe into this fall we could explore with that, but I'd like to see how the new one works, and obviously we're not going to probably send it back, but it might just be good to hang on to it just for a little bit longer, plus being really busy right now. But I think that by this fall maybe we could consider the option of putting it out to bid, and seeing if we get any takers on it, because it would be nice to bring that extra money back in.
Okay.
Continuing to mow the lawns has been going on. Obviously, they get a little behind, like right now, because of the rain that we've had this week. Hopefully tomorrow and Friday is supposed to be a little bit drier, and we can get out there and get that done. This month earlier, we had to do the CCRs, which is the Consumer Confidence Reports for the water system. Those had to go out with of course we did the second quarter meter readings, and then we mailed the CCRs right along with them out, and then I had to send a copy and certification all to the state DEAS for their copies. They like to have that done at the beginning of July, so we worked on that. And then we have another issue that I wanted to bring up to the commissioners, possibly request maybe that the commissioners could write a letter or step in. I've had next year or the year after, we're going to be have to switch. We don't have to take out what we have, but we cannot add new ones in for meters, the type of meters we use, because they're made out of brass, which has lead in it. So I think it's either 2014 or 2015, there's a new federal law or state law, whatever it is, that requires you to have lead-free meters. So we're gonna have to put those back in. You won't be able to purchase them or get your old ones fixed anymore. So what we have now is we've had some on the shelf, spare ones, that we can still use because we still have those, but they'll be outdated. What I'm asking about is, we've had a customer that was gonna put a meter in down in the village, and we gave them all the equipment, which we added up the value of that equipment to be a little over $400 this morning when we looked in the Blue Book, which includes the meter horn, a valve, and a backup valve. There might have been one or two other little pieces in there, but it was right around $400 for this stuff. And this was Representative McConkey's business there that was putting this in for this customer down there at the village. And I've asked him about, is it going to be put in? It's been a while since I've asked.
How long, go ahead.
It's been a while since I've asked, but I asked if it was going to go in, or if we could get our meter back and all the equipment that goes with it, so we have it in case we need to put it in another home. And I haven't heard anything back on that, and we're going on 2 years now that he's had this piece of equipment, and it hasn't been hooked up. So if it was hooked up, minimum, we would get $100 a quarter for any hookups down there,
Right.
plus your water usage. But even if people weren't using it, still, to have the meter in your house, it's $100 a quarter. So over 2 years, I mean, we're looking at $800 that we could have either brought in, or at least have our $400 worth of equipment back to put into another place if we need to. And to me, it's getting more critical to have that back. For one, the water customers paid for it, and for two, we need it in case we need a backup, because we're going to have a hard time getting this kind of equipment here in the near future. So I don't know if the commissioners could possibly write a letter or speak with them or what, because
There has been no communication between you and Representative McConkey?
I asked, benefit of the doubt, it's been probably close to a year maybe since the last time I had brought it up, and spoke with him at a meeting, and I haven't heard anything since. Yes, I have not pursued it since then. I don't know what we need to do there, I guess.
Okay. Commissioner Babson?
Couple of thoughts. Did we pay to run the line to the house?
No, we hooked into the current line and put a curb stop in. We sent our two guys down there, bought all the stuff, put that in.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
We did that. The county paid for that.
The
We
curb
did
stop,
what we were
but from the
supposed to
curb
do.
stop to the house is the
Is them.
customer's responsibility.
And how much would be owed? $800?
That was the potential revenue we could have been bringing in if that was hooked up. It's about $800 if that was hooked up at the time. 2 years later, $100 a quarter, would have been $800 that we could have been brought in. It hasn't been brought in because it's not been hooked up. But we're out a little $400 of parts, basically.
Got a
Any
couple of
further?
suggestions. Either we
Okay.
bill Representative McConkey $800 for the meter, and when we get the meter back, we give him back his money if he pays us. Or two, we compromise, because I don't think that perhaps we've been as aggressive as we should have been to get our meter back, and we'll send him a bill for $400, and we'll eat the other $400 of potential water revenue that we would have had.
Send it registered mail.
So
So
you
make
want,
sure
you
he
want me
gets
to
it?
write a letter or a bill? I think the compromise would be a better solution, because like I said, maybe I haven't been aggressive enough in trying to get it back.
Yeah. Well, we
but
probably haven't
it's-
billed them either.
No, we haven't, so.
Who would do that, Kathy?
Yeah. Yeah,
Why don't we
right
make sure
now
a bill
Kathy
goes out?
Armstrong.
Why don't we ensure a bill goes out?
So there's that, and then the last is just update on the Farm Day. We have a lot of neat things going on this year. We're gonna have the Country Boys band coming out that's gonna play with us, for us. We're gonna have the dairy promotion trailer is gonna be here, so we'll have free ice cream. Cabot Cheese has donated a bunch of cheese samples, so we'll have those to get out. We'll have,
Chocolate sauce?
I don't know about that.
Get Mrs. Spencer to handle that for us.
What's that?
The chocolate sauce.
Chocolates.
Hopefully we'll have at least one hayride with the horses and one with the tractor. There's going to be a lot of 4-H events going on, from building birdhouses to the farm chore relay type things. Trying to think of what else we're going to have a lot of. This year we're going to have some classes that people have taught, but we're also trying to have a lot of demonstrations that'll be set up, that'll be just constantly running from approximately 10 to 2. The event's from 9 to 3, so there'll be things going on also, but these kinds of things, we would like to have them going on so people can just kind of informal education on things, and they're going to be constantly, say, a firewood processor might be running throughout the day, so people can come up and talk to the person and get ideas and things. That seemed to have a big attraction in the past, because people can just mosey around and not have to worry about an actual time schedule. Also, some of the speakers, it seems to be easier, some of them that we've lined up not necessarily want to do a formal talk, more an informal type of situation. So possibly we'll have an oxen here doing a team pulling some stuff around. I don't know if that's been confirmed yet, but there's, I'm trying to think of what else off the top of my head. I don't know if
A wood processor would be there?
yes, ours will be there. There's another gentleman that previously had lined up that's going to bring one. I don't know what his is like, a different type, give possibly to give different options and ideas. He's going to also be bringing a tractor that'll have do a demonstration of how to safely log with a farm tractor, so you could pull logs out of your wood lot. Trying to think of what else. We're going to have doing the talk on the bees. I think there's going to be a person here, a blacksmith here again, doing a demonstrations on blacksmithing type things.
Birdhouses for the kids?
Yes, birdhouses.
Twice as many.
Twice as many. We've expanded that because it's gone over real well with the kids.
Good. We supply the nails and hammers and stuff for that?
We've got volunteers and us that are supplying the hammers.
Okay.
The Farm Day Committee budget's going to buy the nails, and we've supplied the wood. Some of the wood is, in the past, we've had sawmill demonstrations take place, and we've saved that wood, and some of that's the wood that we're using to turn around and give back to the kids for usage on that.
Good.
I don't know if there's anything.
Rain or shine, right?
Rain or shine. We're trying to get out the advertisement. Unfortunately, I ran out of flyers, but I will have some flyers hopefully by next week to be here at the administration building. I'll put some up here if people that come to the meetings would like some, or there'll also be some down at the Cheryl's desk down there, hopefully, so people could pass them out. And then there'll be plenty if there's anybody around that would like to pass them out in the community. They find good spots to put those. Please take some and pass those out.
I just wanted to let you know, I saw one at the West Ossipee Post Office.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so they're getting around.
Good.
I like to have some, so I can hang it up in Wakefield.
Okay, I can make sure that I get some, leave on your desk, Commissioner.
Yeah, thank you.
I put a bunch at the Wolfboro Children's Center,
Yes.
so parents bringing in their young kids can see them there. They said they had one, and it was down in the hall in the locked portion of the building that I don't believe the parents got into, but there's now in the lobby, there's a pile. The other couple of things, Willie, I put the ad in the bulletin for anybody that hasn't gotten around to shearing their sheep and would like it done for free by a professional champion sheep shearer. And so far, we've gotten one by putting an ad in the bulletin. If somebody has them, to call us. Also, I contacted the Draft Horse Association to see if they can find another wagon and team so that we'll have two, and David Senecal with his trailer.
Good, thank you. I forgot I was going to say that about the sheep. The gentleman that did it last year, very good speaker, very interesting, and drew a very big crowd with his world traveling experiences and such. Good speaker to listen to.
Yeah. Anything else?
I don't have anything unless there's anything
Okay.
from the commissioner.
Anybody got any questions for Will?
Is there gonna be some type of area where you can make a donation when you walk in? or-
Yes.
There is?
Yep, we'll have a raffle table.
Raffle.
And that'll have a donations, and then generally, the people running the horses or the tractor will have a bucket with them if people go on a ride and want to make a donation. They're more than welcome to do that, but the raffle table is generally the central location that people can come and make a donation.
So it's donation only, no admission?
Right, no
Like a
admission.
regular fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it's designed to be cheap as possible for families to come in and enjoy and learn about agricultural things.
Well, I want to go back to the meters.
Yes, sir.
We're not going to have to replace those meters with lid-free meters?
My understanding, as of right now, and I could totally be corrected, but we can continue to use the ones that we have, but when they become broken or out of service, we cannot replace them with that type. They're basically eliminating that type to be built and sold. So once they're out, then you have to put a new one in.
Okay.
And I could be wrong about that, but I'm about 99 or 95% sure that that's been the case.
Do we have any extra ones?
We have
Can we return those?
no, as long as we have them, we're okay.
Oh,
It's once we have what's in our department, we're not gonna be able to purchase them anymore. So what you have,
Yeah.
you can use, from my understanding, but once those are broken or gone, then we have to replace them with the others. I think we have 2 or 3 spares on the shelf, because we get freeze-ups and different things like that
Yeah.
happen at different times.
okay. Okay, thank you, Will.
Thank you.
Our agenda shows that John Rich would be here at 9 o'clock. He will not be here at 9 o'clock. He would not be here at all. We've asked Howie to fill in that particular time, but I believe Commissioner Babson is going to give a report for John.
I had asked John to come in because a week ago I asked him to contact the Wolfboro Children's Center to see if they could use some of the computers that we've got left here. They're too slow apparently for us. And their answer was they couldn't use them and that it be financially wouldn't work to clear them all out and
The cost would be too much for them to use them.
Yes.
Right?
So John had suggested that we go through our usual disposal procedure and go to the fellow, give them to the fellow that takes them. And I said, he was looking for me to give him the okay, and I said I couldn't do that without the approval of the majority of the board, so I would suggest that we let John get rid of them, because I'm now convinced that they can't be used anywhere around here.
Okay, you make that motion?
I'll make a motion that the surplus outdated computer and computer-associated equipment that John Rich can get rid of, that we allow him to do so.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion on the motion?
Yes, those computers, you're talking only specifically about the sheriff's department, or are you talking about all the computers here on the complex? This is only the sheriff's department, eh?
No, any surplus computers that we
Oh,
have
okay.
here, and we've got closets full of them.
That are
Because
outdated?
I believe you discussed at the sheriff's department that they had developed for 20.
Yeah,
So that is for the whole complex.
right. Any further discussion? If not, all in support of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, then so voted. Anything else regarding that?
No.
Howie?
Well, I don't know if you want to consider, Bob wanted to talk to you about the
Okay.
contract before we get into some other.
All right, Bob, go ahead.
Thank you. If I can get in and out, that'd be great.
Thank you. You're right.
I had given Kathy Gary a copy of the Sandy contract.
Yep.
Have you had a chance to review it?
No,
I have
it
not.
was just on our desk here.
Okay.
I
When we get up
didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
You got a copy?
Aye.
That's the only bid
That's it?
that is
Viable.
viable. Do we know how many pellet distributors there are in New Hampshire as well as New England?
When I,
Well, there's distributors and then there's those that make them, right?
yeah, there's distributors, there's manufacturers, and there's transporters. We're purchasing through a transportation company because they have the ability to transport them and deliver them and fill our silo.
Mm-hmm.
We could buy pellets from anybody, but we don't have the ability to put them into the silo. We need somebody with the truck, the equipment,
Yep.
to
Yep.
to actually deliver them. And those people are few and far between.
Okay. You want time to review that?
Yes.
Yes.
And
That's fine,
you
I'm
want to
not-
make a comment on it any further?
No, this is everything that we talked about last week.
Okay.
It's just been, this is the contract that needs the signature. I'm not in a hurry, so if you want to review that for a week, I'll come
Mhm.
back next week.
How
Okay.
much time do we have before we need to give the contract to them? We have
I've got a
couple
full
weeks?
silo of pellets right now, and so you need a week, you need 2 weeks, that's fine.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
I don't want to let it go too long because, we need to make a decision sooner than later, but
How long is the contract good for?
1 year.
Okay. I mean,
And
to
there's
be
no minimum or
signed.
maximum either,
Okay,
just like last year.
okay. All right.
I think it's a good contract.
Okay, if we have any questions, we'll call you,
Absolutely.
okay?
Thank you.
All right, Howie?
Okay, and now I'd like to invite Becky and Paula to join me. Take that down. What we'd like to talk to you about is Becky working with the directors of nursing and mine working with other administrators, trying to evaluate what we need to do to update our computer systems. The server part, the hardware part is already taken care of, or at least it's been agreed to, but what we have is clinical software and financial software, dating back to major updates that's approaching a decade. We're coming up to some federal requirements next year that's going to force us to make changes. What
Mhm.
that's done is created an opportunity that if we do things before the requirement of significant savings, and we're talking savings measured in the tens of thousands of dollars. Paula was estimating today that it could approach $50,000 in savings if we do it now, as opposed to waiting till when we have to do it under the gun next year.
Mhm.
We're also experiencing problems with our existing software, and some of it is not supported anymore. It can't be updated, it can't be upgraded, and the financial software, Paula's software doesn't communicate with Becky's software. And it defeats the purpose of having a good computer system, and soon we're gonna have new servers. So to that end, Becky and I have been working with 3 different providers to try to get cost comparisons, and it's never an apples for apples comparison, but what we found, and surprisingly so, is that the best software, which is essentially a newer version of what we have, something we're familiar with, turns out also to be the least expensive. So it's one of those wonderful...
Will it do the job?
It'll do the job better than the others. We've actually worked with, Becky's heard exactly the same thing that I've heard from other county homes that have used the alternative system, which ends up being the dominant and the more expensive one. They're not happy with it. In fact, and the people have just recently installed it. It's driving them crazy, and they've spent a lot more for it. Point Clear is the name. COAS is the most recent installation, and it has not gone well. And those that have it tolerate it, but nobody seems to like it. We've been very pleased with what we have, working with it on a limited basis. So we have the opportunity. What we'd like to propose to you, we don't have the final proposal here, but what we want was to kind of raise the issue, is that we think we can pay for it through a combination of 2 things. Savings that we can generate in this year's budget, and with a balance which we recommend that we'd be able to transfer, we'd look to you to transfer from the Doobie Trust. So the idea of not going beyond the budgeted amount, but being able to take care of it within the existing sources of funding.
The Doobie Trust is set up for residents, right?
No, it's set up, that's the one that, it is set up for the unrestricted use of the county for the purposes of Mountain View. So it's not, it was not.
Do you have anything in writing that actually says that?
That I do.
Okay, I think we'd like to see that.
I'll get that for you. It's actually just left for the benefit of the county for the purposes of Mountain View, but I actually have the original trust document on that, so
Okay.
I'll confirm, and on the chance that I'm wrong, but I'll be sure to.
I thought it was for residents, whereby any computers or equipment would come out of the budget, operating budget. But
Well, let me,
We can look at
the
it,
best thing
yeah.
is to actually get written confirmation, but I do have access to that original data.
Okay,
Because we would like to keep it from having to be supplemental appropriation of any kind. But we're talking about savings of 20, 30, perhaps even $40,000.
what's the total gonna be? What, any idea what the total's gonna be?
Roughly, we're looking at 46,000.
$46,000 to put this together, something that we have to have done by next year.
That includes all the training as well as the software. What is nice about it is it has the electronic medical record, it has the electronic medical med sheet, it has the electronic treatment sheet, it has e-doc, so that my medical records department can scan in all the lab work and everything right into the person's record. It will integrate us completely, because if a nurse makes a change, Paula will be able to see it immediately. If Paula puts in a different insurance company, we'll be able to see it immediately. It is that integrated. It has up-to-date care plans, wound care plans, that are based on national standards for wound care, and they will keep that upgraded. Where we're looking at the savings area is if I can have my medical records people scan in all the lab work and we go to an electronic medical record, I won't have to pay the $3,200 for file cabinets this year like I had to pay for last year. The time frame right now is because they are doing this, they are actually offering a savings. The software alone would normally cost us about $56,000, and they've dropped that down to around the $20,000 range for us to upgrade.
20,000? This goes out to bid?
Well, we went through we've looked at 3 different companies.
Yeah.
We looked at Care Tracker, as we had come forward to you before and talked about Care Tracker. They looked really good, but they have no financial component. They didn't get their financial component up. So we already have 2 systems that work and try to talk to each other. We went out to look at Point Click Care, and that would be a whole nother interface that would have to work with 2 other systems that we have in place now. So I guess it didn't per se go out to bid, but we've got 3 different amounts of money comparison. We didn't just take one.
We looked at 3 proposals, but but it's not a bid in terms of they weren't specifications that 3 people bid on the same.
That's what I was gonna get to, that it sounded like some can do something and some can't do something.
That's true, although fortunately, the one we're looking at is the least expensive of the 3.
And it's
Local?
It's what we've had for years. It's
Yeah.
the same company we already use, it's just an upgrade to our current
Okay.
system. So,
And with what we've got right now, they can't upgrade us any farther. We're either going to have to go web-based, which means we'll be paying for a portion for Paula, and then we'll have to upgrade our Care Tracker to go with another portion, which would have to upgrade, and they can't support us. I mean, we're supported to the point where they can support us with the system we're using that's 10 years old.
Okay, Commissioner Babson?
A couple of questions. Becky, do they have any electronic storage capacity in this?
It's an e-doc, so that if we go electronic nurses' notes, all that paper disappears.
Okay. And
It's-
they have it
that's
on their
computerized.
server somewhere in the country?
Actually, it will be housed right here.
Okay.
And then it's saved out to the cloud like the rest of our stuff is anyway. So yes, it will be housed on site. We're not gonna be bringing them in. They could, but that increases your cost.
The other point is, I don't see how this board can get around not going out for bid. We have a substantial amount of money. We should set up the terms, we should go out for bid, and then we should have the prerogative when the bids come in to select the one that we feel best fits the needs of our nursing home.
Well, I guess my question is these are the only 3 companies that are out there that we've dealt with. These are the only 3 companies that are there. So I guess to put out an RFP for you're gonna send it right back to the 3 companies we've been dealing with and got the paperwork from already. So, I mean, if that's what you want.
well, one
I
of them
think
doesn't
by
have
law, anything
financials,
over
so-
5,000,
one
we have
of
to
them
send
doesn't.
out. So we have to put together an RFP stating exactly what your needs are, and then they bid on that. And if they can't meet your needs, then they probably won't bid on it. But you've tried. Yes, Sheriff?
I may be wrong, but isn't there something that if it's an upgrade of the original operating system or something like that, that it does not have to go out to bid? Because in the end, that is gonna be the cheapest way to go.
But it's not an update, is it?
Yes.
It is an
The
upgrade.
system we already
Upgrade to
have.
the current
We're
system.
gonna stick with that
Yes.
company because they offered the best out of the three we contacted.
Out of
It's
due
not a
diligence,
new
we did look
system.
at outside other companies just to be sure that upgrading really was in fact the best option, but replacing it would have cost, in some cases, double.
So these other two companies can't upgrade our present system?
No.
We have Care Tracker in place,
Yeah.
but it has no financials. So that would mean we'd need the interface between Paula and
Yeah.
nursing, which
Yeah.
we have a minimal one now that functions at times, but she has to put in everything on her side, we have to put in everything on our side. They don't talk. The other program, Point Click Care, would be a brand-new program. It would have to be a complete install. Nobody's ever used it in this county before. It would mean another interface, which would mean three systems would have to talk to each other. And the one we're looking at, NTA, is what Paula already uses for financials. We use it very limitedly we use it for our MDS program. It's
Mhm.
our bread and butter.
Yeah.
So we're getting to the point where it can't be supported anymore. So if we don't, we're gonna have to upgrade that system no matter what, because of our MDS program and our financials.
So basically, it would cost us double to put in a completely new system. And then that may not do the job that we want done.
Right.
So I think if the Board of Commissioners votes unanimously to support the upgrade because of those reasons, then we can do it without going out for bid. I think the law states that you have to go out for bid if it's over $5,000, unless it's unanimously agreed by the board and have reasons for it, then it's possible to do it. So I guess I would support it in that particular case, because a new system wouldn't do the things that we want it to do. The upgrade would. But I'd listen to other comments from the other two commissioners. Asha, how do you feel about it?
I support the upgrade, and it seems like a good program if I listen to the explanation of Becky Mason. But I think I have to check into why we cannot put it out to bid. I still have an issue with that because it looks that we're stuck. So if we have a company doing something and we need to upgrade, we cannot put it out to bid. The same company needs to do that.
We can replace it, but we can't get competitive bids for an upgrade. So we can replace the entire system with one that would cost twice as much, and one that we know that other county homes are not happy with. But we can't get competitive bids for upgrading the system that we have,
Only from that one company.
from that one
So-
company.
So basically, that's one company, so we cannot put it out to bid.
But it's
We
much
just
less,
have to go.
but we do know that it's much less expensive than replacing it.
All right, I suppose we could put it out for bid, write up the RFP, put it out for bid, to go through the formality of it. We know right now that the other companies would put in a brand-new system at a particular price, whereby the current company can update it at half the price,
Correct.
Well, I
and
guess,
do the things that we want it to do.
well, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to put out two RFPs, because the companies that we have do not have a financial package. So therefore, you're going to be putting out an RFP for the nursing side and an RFP for the financial side. Because what they require is an interface between the two programs to talk.
Why don't we just put out one bid that would include what we want it to do, and then either they can bid on it or they can't bid on it. Can we do that?
We can, but that's basically what we've done.
I know that's
yeah, I
what you're
know.
doing.
Yeah, we actually have that pricing already. Without formalizing it, we had gone to 3 providers and asked for their best proposals. But the upgrade is so significantly less expensive that it's compelling.
Okay.
So there's no company, other company that can do the upgrade. It is only just same company.
Because our software is already through that company.
Right, it's their software.
And because of what's going on, they know that they're trying to get their people upgraded before the mandates. Now, if we go beyond a certain time frame, of which they've given timeframes, then it will increase in cost by $40,000 to $50,000. I mean, we can give you that stuff if you want.
When do you see this happening? Right away?
By the end of July, is the deadline.
Your thoughts, Commissioner Babson?
Well, I'd say we're in the middle of a pickle. The law says we have to do it, unless it's an upgrade. If it's twice as much for a new system, how do we know that the new system won't do twice as much and do it twice as quickly?
Well, they
I think we have to cover ourselves by going out for bid. If we write up the specifications and we only get one bid back, and that's from the company that's currently have it, so be it, but at least we've been out for bid.
legally, I think that's probably correct. Write up the RFP so that you can interface, talk to each other, and put it out to those three companies and any other company, and see what comes back. Either a new system or an updated system. And you already know that you've talked with other nursing homes, and the new systems, apparently, they either don't like or it doesn't work the way it should work, so
And it's a
bring
lot
that
more
back to us.
expensive. And they paid a lot more than, and they paid a lot for it.
And, yeah, and it'd be twice the cost. Okay, I guess you got a feeling of, it won't be majority right now, so write up an RFP and put it out and come back to us, I guess, and see what is done in writing as for documents.
Okay, so we've already got what we needed, we've already gotten the quotes back, but you want another RFP to go out to all these companies?
An RFP that states exactly what you want the system to do.
Then at that point, I know for a fact we'll be talking much greater money.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably 90 to 95,000 total.
Well,
So,
that's what we need to know, that's what we have the public. Yes, Sheriff, once more.
I think what they are asking for is just a software upgrade. They're not asking for a new system. That would be like us throwing away our IMC system and going to something else.
Mm-hmm.
The state police is the only police department in the state of New Hampshire that I know of that uses something other than IMC. They hate it. They're sticking with it because they're into it for so much money. Down the road, they may switch over to IMC, and you would think that would have to go up to bid. They're just asking for a simple software upgrade, which no other company can do other than the company that is already in existence in the system.
Yeah.
So I think you're wasting their time to put out the RFPs, and you're gonna possibly cost the county money as far as that chance to get the low bid or the low price at this point. My thought.
Change your mind at all?
No, I mean, I've been here coming in here for a long time and heard all the discussions over the past couple of years and all the hell that's been raised about no bids and fixed contracts and fixed deals and everything else that goes on. I'm not willing to put myself in that position. And if they're the only ones that'll do it, they'll win the bid. And I didn't make the law, and the law is there.
Okay,
Thank you.
you got your answer, I guess, right?
Before you go,
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Mason has very generously volunteered to head up the IT committee, which would be, actually, if we had the IT committee working now, that's the place I would say we would have gone with this bid,
Right.
and that would have solved the problem. But
Do
thank
you
very
have
much,
members of that committee? Are you aware of the members of that committee?
I did serve on that committee, so I will make sure that I get an updated list of members.
Okay.
And we'll probably be having a meeting.
I
rather
gave
quickly.
somebody the minutes of one of your meetings, and it listed all the members on it, so
I think
it's
Kathy
available.
has it.
Okay.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much, Becky, for volunteering.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ed?
No, before you leave, I just wanted to ask, what I've observed is that government seems to wait till the last minute. And if we kind of knew this was coming down the pike, why did we wait till the last minute when this has to be decided in July? We should have known this update and everything.
Now, look,
we needed.
look,
I'm
what,
just asking.
you didn't hear what they said. They said we have to have it next year.
Mhm.
That's the deadline. We don't have to do it now.
Oh, I thought you
If
said
we,
July.
if we do it now, then it's gonna save half the cost. So, we're not rushing into it by any means, but we need to do it.
I think what I mean to say is that if you had gotten the information you needed weeks ago, perhaps you could have researched this more, so then you could have made a decision today. That's my point, that it seems like it was the last minute. That's just an observation, that's all.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Jason, please. Jason, you got anything for public? Okay, our work session, we got anything on our work
Yeah, I
session? Go ahead.
Last week, I made the statement that I did not get paid for my last term as a legislator, and Commissioner Kenney insisted that I had.
I have it here.
All right, wait a minute.
Excuse me, I have
Wait a
the
minute,
floor,
she's got the
Commissioner
floor.
Kenney.
Yeah, it's on.
And at the conclusion of the meeting, I went downstairs and asked Kathy Armstrong if I had been collecting mileage, and she said, no, you hadn't been collecting mileage, and you hadn't collected it for 6 terms. And I said, well, that's what I thought, but Commissioner Kenney says that I have been. Is there a way we can put it up on the screen? And magically, it was up in about 2 seconds, and I had in fact been collecting mileage for my last term, which came to a total between the subcommittees and the delegation meetings to $61.11. I went home and got my checkbook and came back and wrote the check to the county and reimbursed them for that $61.11, because I truly thought I was not getting paid. And that should be the end of the matter. And thank you for pointing that out, Commissioner Kenney.
Okay, I just pointed out because I said I signed a check. It was $3 something, and you denied, and you said I had to bring proof. That was not true, and I have it today. But
Yes, you do, because I have the same one. Excuse me, I'm
because you
sorry.
also went down, so you also know.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to go back to the newspaper article, in the Conway Daily Sun came out on Tuesday, July 9th, regarding Commissioner Kenney's, I have no agenda, am not resigning from commission. I'd like to state that I, as the chairman, we always have meetings on Wednesdays, especially Wednesday mornings. I have repeatedly said when I cannot be at the meeting, that the meeting can still be held by the other 2 commissioners. I have given plenty advance notice of that I would not be available, and that seldom occurs. I may have taken two meetings off because of another meeting I was going to. So I think that's probably inaccurate. Also, the chairman sets the agenda, but I always ask other commissioners as to what should be on the agenda. I've asked Commissioner Kenney, and she says, oh, I don't know. And Commissioner Babson, I've asked him, and he's made some comments about it, whether we should have somebody on, or maybe we shouldn't, or whatever. So, as chairman, I have opened it up to the other 2 commissioners, to the full board, as to when they want to have the meetings, what's on the agenda, and so forth. So I don't think what was in the paper was accurate. Just that comment.
My response now.
Go ahead.
You said, you asked what is put in agenda. I don't know. If there's something coming up, I tell you what I like to have on the agenda. So it's not that I said every time, I don't know. About the meetings, when I was just elected, the 2 years when Commissioner Sorensen was absent,
I was still running the meeting with Commissioner Solomon, former Commissioner Solomon.
Mhm.
He was still running that. And this year, what happened, I got an email. I was asking why there was no meeting, and the email stated because Commissioner Sorensen is absent. That is accurate, what is in the paper.
Well, I didn't put out that email because I always said that you can have a meeting whether I'm here or not. As far as notification of being here, there's been on at least 2 or 3 occasions whereby we were notified that you could not be here within 2 minutes of a secretary walking in the door, 2 minutes of the meeting starting, saying that you would not be here, so I'm not sure that that's fair. Anyway, go ahead, Mr. Babson. Mr. Babson's got the floor.
I just want to reiterate what the commissioner has said, the chairman has said. I don't, the letter in the paper, I think was probably, I'd like to put it nicely, not accurate. Anybody watching the minutes can see that we didn't run out of here. We sat here and the meeting continued afterwards. The agenda for the meeting, yes, Commissioner Kenney is correct. We had decided on Wednesday that we wouldn't have a meeting, and then events happened on Friday, Thursday and Friday, which the chairman, I guess, felt we should have a meeting, and we had, the agenda was up, not only at noontime, which is our own set goal, but at 10:30. And to say that it was a last-minute change was just inaccurate. And I would just say that the letter doesn't represent the way I see things, or anybody watching the film would see it. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else to bring up at the work session?
We had the IT. What am I forgetting? I guess that was it. We had the IT committee.
Okay, we reported on Primex, reported on the auditors. Are we all done with the work session?
I believe so.
Okay, we're going to go into non-public session under RSA 91A, 3 paragraph 2, A, B, and C. But before we do that, I'll open it up for public comment from anybody. Yes, sir.
In regards to the Holmes upgrade for software,
Yes.
first off, that software is protected by the company that provides it. It's their own intellectual program.
Right.
So you couldn't therefore expect an outside company to bid on upgrade. Obviously, it's not their product.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're trying to do is to spare themselves the expense of a total new program.
New system, yeah.
Okay, but I only find it a little suspicious that now they only offer, only $40,000 in comparison to a $90,000 cost later on. Now, if the company wants the business, certainly they'll hold the $40,000. So, if it's not a new system that they're installing and only looking to upgrade what they currently already have,
Right.
the only other question I have for it is how long is that upgrade gonna last?
Normally upgrades don't last an awful long time.
But I'd hold the company that's making the offer at the $40,000 to hold it, even if you have to, debate the fact.
Yeah.
So, they're not looking to do a complete overhaul, it's just an upgrade. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, you wouldn't have, expect NASA to have an upgrade done by maybe the Russian space program, Just wouldn't work that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's my observation.
Yeah. Well, I think if the RFP goes out and it states what they want to have done,
But nobody else can bid on that.
somebody
that
could
program.
bid on a whole new system
Well, that you can do.
to put in, or the company that has the system already in can put in a bid for updating that system to equal. But it sounds to me like even the new companies cannot provide what they need to be able to communicate from one department to the other. I find that hard to believe, but apparently that's
Well, with
what
the
they
new
said.
system, they would be able to provide that, because certainly technology has provided a way to have other programs work,
Yeah. But they did say that the financial portion of it could not be, the company that is not doing the update, but a new company
Uh-huh.
does not have the financial portion of that
Oh,
new
the,
equipment.
Yeah.
But we'll let it go out to bid, and we'll see what comes back, okay? Any other comments from the general public? Seeing none, then we will go into non-public, what?
Discuss that.
And
What's that?
Jason is
Stay,
coming
had
into non-public.
non-public.
Jason, you're coming for Ashland?
Just tell him, you know, tell him he can
Is
go
that
ahead with
correct?
his legal stuff if he wants.
Oh, security.
Tell him that
Okay, okay.
we don't wanna hang anybody out.
Okay. We're going to make a motion to go into non-public session. One reason is for security, and the other reason we'd like to talk with Ed in non-public also, okay? Not to be filmed, but to talk with him.
You
So
wanna-
I'd make a motion that we go into non-public for RSA 91A3, paragraph 2, A, B, and C for
He said security.
for
Jason
security
is coming for
reasons
security.
and for...
Is that covered under what you're reading? What
What's
is
that?
security? The
What's with the
RSA, which number is security? Is it covered? What
It's
is it?
it's under the right to know law.
When we're talking to Ed is not covered as one of the right to know law reasons.
For legal reasons.
For legal reasons?
Any other comments? And
Go ahead.
Legal? So
I'm not
yes.
gonna discuss anything unless my lawyer is present, so I don't really know what can occur in a non-public, so.
Okay, all right.
We should follow the process and go through the legal process.
Okay.
Thank you.
But if you're going not public and you're just going to say, yeah, Ed is coming, I think you need to notify Ed. And
It's
why
not coming, it's not coming.
And why he
We're
is
going
coming for.
under, we're going for security reasons between the jail and the farm.
Yes, but I just want to...
Only.
Yeah, but I just want to say, he just said
I
Ed
know.
is coming into non... If you're doing that, you need to notify him that he comes into non-public and why, the reason, state the reason why he's coming into non-public.
We
Okay.
asked him and he didn't wanna come.
He didn't want to come, so that's fine, that's fine.
Yeah, but you
We'll-
just tell him
we'll-
1 second.
We'll go on.
But what was the reason? Was it was legal?
Legal.
Period.
I think you need
Okay,
a
so-
lawyer for that.
If I knew ahead of time.
If he
I
needs a
could've brought
lawyer,
my
he needs a lawyer. And we'll inform him if we want him to come in next week with his lawyer. Okay?
So
all right.
you made a motion to go into non-public?
I did.
Who seconded?
Did you second it,
I'll
Commissioner
second it.
Benson? Roll call?
Commissioner Babson?
Here, yes?
Commissioner Sorensen?
Yes.
Commissioner Kenney? Yes.
Okay.
Are they
and-
coming
and so
together?
voted.
Is
Yes.
Jason
Yes.
and...
Yes.
Do we record the time also?
Okay, yeah.
You want me to just get there now? Use the
9:46.
camera out?
And we're going to handle them.
Okay, but I'll just.